sexual awakening.
Someone in the back of the cinema went, oh!
I think I was definitely past the emo stage at 14. Things took a turn at 14 for me, actually.
Hi, I'm Alison, and we're chatting with Cosmo UK.
Hi, I'm Margot Robbie.
Hi, I'm Chau.
Oh, was
Well, I think
supposed
you
to-
did it for the rest of us.
You did it for the rest of us.
Sorry,
Now,
okay, good,
they'll
good.
edit it some
Okay,
another
right.
way. Congratulations on the movie. I wept. I wanted to re-download Hinge afterwards, which is not a good idea. And have you been to any fan screenings? And was there like a specific moment where you were surprised by the audience's reactions?
Oh, it was actually a screening for people who were doing a junket. This was when we were in LA, because I actually hadn't seen the film since October. So I was like, I want to see it again before we do the junket. And when, I don't know if this isn't really a massive spoiler, but when Kathy sits on the egg, later when she's in Thrushcross Grange, someone in the back of the cinema went, oh! Which I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, what is that sound for? Like, it was sort of like a moan.
A moan, not a gasp.
Not a gasp, it was a moan.
Yeah, that moment did get a big reaction.
Yeah,
LA premiere,
big
for sure.
Yes,
for
a
sure.
big gasp.
Well, I was going to ask about the eggs. What is the thinking behind the eggs? I love the eggs.
The eggs are so good. I mean, that's just the genius of Emerald, to be able to take an item or thing that we are so familiar with and have never associated in any sexual way ever before, and suddenly it becomes, there's this great kind of moment in the movie where Kathy has this sexual awakening, and suddenly everything she sees seems sensuous or sexual or
pig's feet.
erotic.
Slugs.
Pig's feet and a snail on the window and kneading of dough, and it's so like funny and true. But she's got this amazing ability to take things and images and make them seem like something else to you all of a sudden. Yeah, there's actually not really much nudity at all in this movie, or much swearing or much violence or anything, and yet the film in its totality feels like you've experienced every spectrum of the, people think that it's an evocative movie or even a provocative movie, but she does it in other ways.
Yeah, it's all in the details. And the hands especially, I found there was so much symbolism and like communication just through the hands. And like that first bit when he grabs her ankle with his hand, like,
Oh, yeah.
that broke my heart.
Same.
It's just like the nice. And why was it important to like do that communication through non-verbal ways? Why was that important to you guys to bring it through?
I just feel like it's always more powerful, isn't it? Mm-hmm. A gesture like that, him reaching out and holding her ankle, little Heathcliff doing it, then it happens later in the movie. It's just so powerful.
Yeah, and says so much more than if he was trying to sort of... And it's also really hard to, like, articulate love or any sort of big feelings. And I think if you can do it through gestures or movements or things that are sort of instinctual, it sometimes feels just more affecting, I think.
It was so affecting, and then I started to spot it throughout the whole film, and then like, I don't want to give anything away, but like, and then at the end as well, it just like, and then I just really want to talk to you about all the spoilers, but I'm going to try and not
it's really
to.
hard doing press, and I'm like, and then, well, anyways, once you see it,
like, even though the book has been out for like 200 years, there's like,
no, I know, and when people say some plot points willy nilly, I'm like, whoa, a lot of people have not read this book. You can't just say it.
And it felt like there were quite a lot of like nods to like other stories as well, like Kathy's like Kate was very little Red Riding Hood, there was the Romeo and Juliet. Are there any other sort of like Easter eggy things that we should be like looking out for, either from like the original book or from like other films?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think Emerald would answer that best, probably. She had so many visual references, artistic references. In the first conversation I had with her, she had a book about that thick, I'm not kidding, full of images and ideas and this artist and that, and she's her knowledge is pretty vast and incredible, but she also has a very specific way of directing, and I think she heavily relies on her instincts and is always trying to follow the thing that makes you feel the most. It's always that emotional storytelling that she's most interested in, despite the fact that her films are full of these beautiful images. It's always about finding the biggest emotion and following that.
It every scene was just some kind of emotion. There was never a moment where you're like, oh, okay, like everything is just so encompassing. It's just, I loved it so much. There's obviously quite a lot of intimate scenes, but as you said, like there's no actual nudity or anything. How was it different filming these to other projects you sort of done in the past?
I mean, every project's different from the last project or from anything else. I don't know. It's just we kind of there's a lot happens in the movie, right? And there's a lot of focus on, I think everyone wants to talk about those scenes, but actually I'm thinking more about like I cry in pretty much every single scene. I was like, that was way more challenging than doing a intimate scene. So it's kind of amazing that we had the opportunity to do so much. And again, I think it's all down to Emerald and the way that she gives this latitude on set, not just for cast members but crew members too, to like be quite maximalist at time and then trust her to pull it back to a place where it needs to be. And I like to operate that way. So in every regard, I think we were just exploring and ultimately had trust in our director. And when you have a safe place like that, it's all great.
Mm-hmm. Alison, Isabella gets, I feel like, a lot more agency in this film than she might have done in the book. And there's a particular moment near the end between Nelly and Isabella. I don't know if I can say it, but like, is that your interpretation of her? Did you feel like she had more agency than she does in the novel?
I think like I felt like when I first read her in the book, I had a particular feeling about her, and then when I read Emerald's version in the script, you get quite a different Isabella. But actually, a lot of weirdly, when I went back to the book, then again, I was like, oh, I could totally see where Emerald was getting that inspiration from, and then where she took it to herself. But I think like she's very much, she's very much figuring out what her expectations are or should be of a husband whilst it's happening, because she hasn't had someone to confide in or speak to it about. So she's working from a place of survival, or like trying to find your own agency within that herself. But I think I'm always interested in like what people will feel about that sort of latter section, or what that moment is between the two of us, because that was something we really found on the day, actually.
Yeah. Alison and I like to joke about that there will be a sequel with Nelly and Isabella in London.
I would love to see the sequel.
We have ideas.
Just
what
two
are the
single
ideas?
gals in the big city.
Because Isabella's story obviously doesn't end the way it does in the novel, and so there is an opportunity for the two of you to
It's like when Chloe and Courtney took Miami. It's like, this is the spin-off show.
Oh my god, that we need to see.
Nelly and Isabella take London.
Take Soho.
Soho, very different place.
Different vibe. Grim spin-off, actually.
Hong, over the years there's been really a few arguments that Nelly is the true villain of Wuthering Heights. Did you feel like that was your interpretation of Nelly when you approached the character this time?
Oh, I try not to categorize characters in that way. I think there's good and bad in all of the characters. There are likable and unlikable moments. So Kathy with Isabella. And I think Emerald also, said that this was a tricky character. Nelly was a tricky character to sort of figure out. And so we just played around with it. We dialed her down, we dialed her up, and I think it was a nice place where we landed with Nelly, because the audience gets to have their sort of participation in the creation of Nelly as well.
Yeah, she was such an interesting, and she became so much more alive in my mind. In the book, I was kind of like, okay, Nelly, but with you, I'm just like, oh my god, she is such a force to be reckoned with, and such a crucial part of what happens. In a completely different context, I had another interview that you made pina coladas before shooting the movie poster. What cocktails would all the characters be?
Oh wow.
Oh god, Kathy would be something punchy.
I think I'd be an old-fashioned.
Yeah, I was saying old-fashioned for Nelly for sure.
Maybe I'm like a strawberry daiquiri.
Yes, definitely.
With a shot of
with a floater on top, when they added the extra. Yeah, I think Kathy might be like a Manhattan or something, that it's like it's like sweet but also like very, very, very strong.
Yeah, what's the dark and stormy?
Dark and Stormy works for the title for sure. Dark and Stormy is like
Espresso martini.
espresso martini.
Ooh.
That's good.
Emerald said that this has sort of been the movie that she wanted to create based on like how she felt when she was 14 first reading it. What were you all obsessed with when you were 14? Like pop culture wise?
Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. That like made me feel okay about being who I was.
Yeah.
14's grade 9, is it?
I don't know what that is in
8, 9,
Australia.
grade 9?
So like year 9, 10?
Gosh.
Or just like teenage age?
I think I was out of my emo stage and into my... I think I was definitely past the emo stage at 14. Yeah, things took a turn at 14 for me, actually. Yeah.
It's a pivotal age.
Yeah, it was a pivotal age. It really was.
Sorry, also...
Just entered my
You were like,
years.
What happened?
Yeah, I just kind of remember listening to a lot of Tori Amos first.
Tori Amos?
Tori Amos?
No.
Oh my god.
What? Tell me.
I don't...
Oh, you
Okay, can you
if
educate
you
me
like
after this?
Anya.
Okay, go, Enya. It's a musician.
Yes.
Okay. I love.
The dollhouse was incredible. Was that real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Did any of you get to keep it?
No, but there
I
was
think
a-
Emerald
It was
kept
enormous. It was enormous.
It was insane. It was so amazing. And in fact, Susie Davies, our production designer, knowing that there was going to be a dollhouse, made the house essentially to make it look like the dollhouse, as opposed to the prop department making a dollhouse to replicate the set. It happened the other way around.
Yeah.
Like she wanted it to look like a giant dollhouse because of that detail in the script, which is just so cool.
So cool. And also when you open the dollhouse, then there's another dollhouse inside that, and then when you open that one, there's another one inside of it.
Yeah.
And there might be another
And there
one
might be
inside
another
of
one
that.
for all we know.
But like a real one?
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
like-
So you open the dollhouse and it replicates the living room, the dining room that we're standing in, which has the dollhouse in it. So the dollhouse is in it. And if you opened that tiny little one,
there's a
there is
tiny-
also another with another dollhouse in it as well.
It's so
incredible.
Crazy
It's
detail.
so nice those attention to details though, and like every set. And I know you mentioned, I think you've said that this is like your favorite set you've ever been on. Like, is that hard sentence to say? Because obviously you've had Barbie. Like, is it hard to choose? Is it like choosing between children of which set design you like the most?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But these sets were, the sets on Barbie were unbelievable as well. But there was like a logistical side like that was necessary with these sets as well that makes them even more astonishing. So apart from looking the way they look, they had to function. They had to have functioning chimneys in every room. We had to build that into the studios, like venting and all this kind of stuff. Drainage, because we have so much rain machines and stuff like that. Like that doesn't have, well, there's no elements in Barbie Land, so we didn't have those kind of logistical things. So yeah, I think from a practical side, those sets blow me away as much as the aesthetic of them.
Yeah, and it's so nice because in a period, those sort of dramas of those sort of periods, you never really get colour, and so it was so nice to be able to be like, oh my god, there's so much colour here, and you're not like, wait, I can't see anything.
And like Emerald wants everything in the movie to she wants to elicit that physical feeling, and so the walls would have crystals on it so it looked like they were sweating, or they would have latex in the skin room so it looked like you could touch it and it would feel like skin. So there's always something texturally interesting happening aside from just being a beautiful Victorian house.
And Isabella has her own ribbons. What weird item or like ordinary item would you have a room dedicated to?
Spoons.
A room of spoons. I'd like that. Nice. That's really cool.
I love that.
Maybe I need to get back into this, but maybe crystals. I used to collect crystals.
Oh my gosh, my room's
And having
practically that.
full of crystals, I just feel like you'd walk in and be healed or something.
I would like, I agree. I'd love a crystal room.
Salt room.
Yes, yeah, where they've got
I haven't done one, but I know.
feels nice.
Yeah, I should.
like a room of bonsai trees. So it'd be like being in a tiny enchanted forest.
Yeah.
They're quite hard to look after, aren't they? Or are
Probably. I'm about to get one actually. How they hard? I'm not good at things like that. So
You're gonna like take it on the road with you, just
have
like
to come with me
project.
everywhere. Be like Natalie Portman in The Professional.
That was my last question. Thank you guys so much. This movie was incredible. Like the English literature student in me was just like obsessed, and I just thank you guys so much for your time
Thank you
today.
so much.
Thank you.